I'll probably never forget. And maybe I don't need to. There's a piece of me that was always you. There's a place in me you can always run to. Even when I can no longer hear your voice, when the distance leaves us with no choice, I'll probably never forget. And maybe I never want to.
First things first, thank you to Edward Ademolu for that awesome voiceover. What's good? It is Salim Mohammed Tarfa the Fizi on the Fizi Speaks, back again with another episode. And on this episode, I'm joined by the delectable Joules my Joules, OAP extraordinaire, and ballet dancer, part-time chef.
Really?
Yes, part-time chef.
God, I was shocked for a second when you said that. Where did that come from?
I don't know. I just believe somewhere in your life you're a chef. I just believe. Yeah. So yeah, on this episode, it's a rather very serious episode. Really, what I call it, somber, right?
Yeah.
But we're going to try and keep it as lively as possible. We'll be talking about grief, overcoming grief, and finding acceptance.
Yeah. I know it sounds like a very sad one, but
yeah, there's something light to hopefully take out of this. Let's get it.
Okay, we're going to start with what is grief.
Yeah, what is grief?
Naturally, when you hear the word grief, everyone starts to think of loss, which is exactly what it is.
Different kinds of loss.
Yes, so it is your natural response to loss.
Mm-hmm.
You lose something, it's the emotional suffering that comes after you lose that thing. And sometimes it can be really overwhelming, but it expresses itself in different ways.
So basically, I think one thing that I'll say that we both have agreed on discussing before now is that everyone experiences grief differently, and everyone grieves differently. So so grief is a different thing for everyone.
Exactly.
It's common in that we all experience it in some way, shape, or form, but it's different in how we feel it, how we experience it. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and there are different scenarios that could cause grief. Naturally, the word grief is associated with death.
Yeah.
Sometimes, people would just think about the first thing of loss. Someone died.
Yeah.
But grief comes in other aspects of life. You lose something. You can lose someone and they're still alive. You still get to see them every day.
And I feel like, again, this is still death. It's just death in a different form, right? It's like if you lose someone, let's say maybe a friend, right? If friendship comes to a very terrible end, then you're grieving that friendship, the death of that friendship.
Yeah.
It was what it was, but it's dead now.
True.
So that's also death.
Of course. Yeah. Coming from your logical explanation.
I feel
but the general idea of death is that once something dies, you don't see it again. It's gone. Exactly.
Gone,
But there are so many things you can actually grieve.
Do you believe in reincarnation?
Honestly, I did not used to. But after seeing the kind of children we have these days, I am starting to think that there's a possibility that our grandfathers have come back.
Yeah, I really don't want to think about that. Yeah, not really where I want to go.
These children behave like my ancestors. Why?
Wait, you knew your ancestors?
Relax. So my grandfather.
Okay, so just in case you see someone that looks like Night Wolf on the road, that's Joules my Joules. She's doing something on the road. Okay.
Oh my God.
So yeah. It's really weird. All right. So go on. You know your ancestors personally, like.
No, but seriously, you need to see 3-year-olds talking to me like they've been here for like 2,000 years. Alright, so I'll just give a list of things that are possible causes of grief, situations
Sources.
that, things that different situations that will cause grief, a divorce or relationship breakup.
Definitely.
Loss of health.
Oh my! Wait, you know what? Just go through them and I'll let you know which ones I went through last year. Let's do that. Go for it.
Losing a job. No, you want me to start from the beginning?
No, I did not.
Okay, let's start from the beginning. So back again, like I said, divorce or relationship breakup.
Check.
Loss of health.
check.
Really did.
Yeah, I did kind of have like it deteriorated at some point because
Ouch.
I wasn't myself. I wasn't really okay. So yeah,
Losing a job, loss of financial stability.
that happens to people too.
A
So
lot.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's life sometimes.
Let me continue my
It's
list.
really personal.
All right, a miscarriage. Retirement.
Retirement is
People don't even think about this part. Okay, so another one would be the death of a pet.
yeah.
Yeah, like my
It
dog
would definitely
Damien.
be. Your dog's
She
name was
shouldn't have.
Damien?
No, it's not dead. But the one that touched me was Courage. Courage died when I was young.
Let me ask you a question. Really important question.
Not
Listeners.
Courage the Cowardly Dog. Please don't do
Oh,
that. Don't do
so
that.
close. I was going to ask.
No, don't do that.
I was going to ask you if
And she was like the bravest dog I've ever seen.
Courage was actually a brave dog.
Like I couldn't eat for days after she was taken by some Calabar people that moved to my area. No
So-
offense to anyone with Calabar, but it
You
actually
guys are not
happened.
trying, actually.
Like,
This is not the first Calabar story
Like,
I'm
why?
hearing. People just take
it was
like
not nice.
my grandma's dog that time. Like I was really young. He just took the dog and then they Calabarized the dog, man. It wasn't good.
Like, man. Oh well. Anyways, next one up. Loss of a cherished dream.
A cherished dream?
Yeah.
Wow,
Mhm.
that's something else.
Yeah. A loved one's serious illness. You know,
Okay.
it's not your illness, it's your loved one. You know, they're no longer, you're losing them at their best. Loss of a friendship, like we mentioned earlier.
Oh, that's deep actually. You see, when you see someone who is still alive,
Mhm.
but you get to watch them become a shadow of themselves, and then that loss of them in the capacity of what they were, what they used to
Exactly.
be, can be very depressing as well. Yeah, that's something.
Then loss of safety after a trauma. You know, the PTSD
PTSD,
thing.
yeah. It's not funny, especially people who have been in domestically abusive homes and stuff like that. You get to a new place and then someone is just trying to wave at you, but then you're ducking for cover because
Because
you're expecting Ibati or something, so
Yep.
it's dangerous.
Yeah, and there's several other things like maybe selling your family house, somewhere you're used to, and you get to have to sell it because of money or something, or for any reason.
Yeah, grief.
So many things.
Loss.
You just feel grief. So
Death of your family house.
now the thing is, there is no normal timetable for grieving. There's no particular way to grieve. One thing you should know is that it is individual.
Yeah, like we said already.
Yeah.
Grief is there's no one way. I remember like someone expecting me like, okay, look, the thing is each loss. Another thing I've noticed is that each loss is different. There are no two losses that are the same or that carry the same magnitude or the same effect on you. So how you go through each loss is going to vary, right?
Yeah.
For example, people cope different ways. There are people who cope with pain and sorrow and all this stuff by laughing.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You see some people, they laugh a lot when they're in pain. For me, sometimes I'm very uncomfortable. I just
Before we go into dealing with the grieving process, we'll just deal with some little myths and facts about grief, and grieving quickly, very quickly, so that whatever it is that has been in your head as a notion about grief that's not quite right, maybe we set it straight before we get into the process. So one of the myths is that the pain will go away faster if you ignore it.
lie.
Very big lie.
I agree. That's a lie.
Very, very big lie. Trying to ignore the pain or keeping it from surfacing would only make it worse in the long run.
Yeah.
Okay, then the next one would be it is important to be strong in the face of loss. Now this one,
Everyone is like, be strong, be strong.
nah, so wrong.
Thing
Come
is, if you haven't experienced a level of grief before, your response would be to be strong. And this is something that happened. I know people that lost people, and I was like, you know what, take it easy. Be strong. God is gonna help you. There's an I pray for them. But then later on, with some personal experience, my advice went from be strong to do what you need to do.
Mhm.
Feel, experience everything, and I pray that God gives you the grace to deal with that process. Because now I understand being strong is an illusion.
Yep.
And while you are being strong, quote unquote, a lot of things are going to be happening to you that are not going to be.
Exactly.
They don't look like you being strong. You're trying to look strong. You have the face and everything, yeah. But sometimes being strong means something different from what we think it means. Sometimes I feel like it means being strong might mean being strong enough to allow yourself break down.
Exactly. I was
Give
gonna go
give
there.
yourself the room
Mhm.
to break down. Give yourself the chance, the space to be a mess.
Mhm.
You know, look, I might not be 100% right now, and that's okay. You know what?
Exactly.
I'm human, and I should appreciate my humanity. I know that showing up is already like I've done half of my work. Just allow me to show up and do my best, and then
Exactly.
that's it.
Mhm. Now, this other myth that says if you don't cry, it means you're not sorry about the loss.
Yay!
Big lie.
Very big lie. If you don't cry, it doesn't mean that you do not feel pain. It doesn't mean that you're not hurt. I know, for example, I lost. For example, this is just one. I lost one of my uncles when I was way younger. I was in university.
Yeah.
When I initially got the news, everyone was expecting me to be like, really teary-eyed and stuff. But I didn't know how to feel.
Exactly.
So
Trying to process everything.
my mom and my cousins, everyone was around, and I was supposed to be like breaking down because I was really young at the time. Not too young, but I was young, yeah. And I was close to my uncle. I really love my uncle so much. I still love my uncle. May his soul rest in peace. Um, but the thing is, in that point, in that moment, it didn't come to me,
At all.
and I don't think that it's right to force it. I feel like it should come like authentically. It should come like from the real you, basically. I keep doing this thing.
Yes, you
So
do.
so it should come from within you, and it should be real, right? If you're gonna express tears or whatever, let it be because you actually want to or you actually feel it, not because everyone is crying, I have to cry now. Then you have to like quickly force yourself to cry. I don't know, maybe looking into looking at the sun for 5 minutes, maybe that will help you. I don't know. I wouldn't advise that, but like seriously, I realized that it was after months that I got to that point where I could actually grieve my uncle
Yeah.
the way I wanted to. And I didn't even realize I was there. It
Mhm.
just came upon me. I was like, whoa,
Mhm.
I'm not taking this as well as I thought I was. I thought it was like something broken with me. Am I broken on the inside? Or something
Ah,
like, why don't I feel this pain the way everyone else is feeling it?
feeling it.
But I was feeling it. It took a longer time for it to dawn on me that this
It
is what
took a
happened.
different process for you, more
Yeah,
like, I feel
yeah,
like people who don't cry show their pain in different ways.
yeah,
Some other people, instead of crying, they start cleaning.
yeah.
They
I
start
know a
cleaning a
particular
lot.
guy. I know a particular guy. Okay, let me not go into it. Dage man. If you listen to this podcast, man.
Forgive him ahead, I
Yeah,
beg.
yeah. You're still my guy, but yeah. Dage man definitely will clean the hell out of wherever he is. He just if he's on the road, oh God help us, oh he's gonna clean the entire street. That guy, man, he's a superpower, he's special.
Yeah, I have those who would eat. They'll eat up
Yeah,
a storm just
people,
because they can't
yeah,
deal with what is going on at the time.
yeah.
Some other people would just be sleeping. Their own job is to sleep. You'll be wondering what is going on.
Depression, extreme sadness, grief,
Mm,
you know, sleep is that place you go to where you don't have to pretend.
yeah, indeed.
So sleep, I found at some point I would say I found sleep very welcoming.
Yeah,
Yeah, and especially if you're sleeping like a vampire in a coffin, you really find yourself relaxed.
it's just peace.
Yeah, it's this peace. You're not pretending, you're not running from anything, you're not fighting anything, you're not worried about anything, just letting
Just,
yourself
that's where
just,
I'll
you
permit
know,
my English off light. Just off light.
yes,
Lock
switch
everywhere.
off your
Yeah.
internal light. Not
Just
completely because you need to stay alive. Okay, if you sleep too much.
off light.
No, that's the thing because it does feel like death. It feels like you're motionless at some point. You just allow you lose sense of time. and everything. It's quite
And that brings us to the next myth.
Mm-hmm.
People say grieving should last about a year. You know, those
some bullshit.
So if you're from the Igbo tradition, a woman loses her husband and then she has to grieve for about a year before she can actually come out in public. You know, then she has to do the ceremonial burning of clothes, you know, memorial.
She has to barb skin cut.
Yeah, that one, that you don't barb that one since now. As soon as the guy died, boy, your hair is going, it's going with the guy.
This is one thing I like about the Igbo tradition.
Leave us, please don't start.
No, but I want to say something.
Do not start.
Wait now, wait. I have something to say. Like at this point.
Do not start.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Just pause it there. It's just respect for the dead.
Yeah,
feel
respect,
like, you know, but the truth is that there's
brain.
actually no specific time frame for grieving.
The thing is, I don't feel like you can ever be done
grieving,
right? Because what grieving is realization of loss.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the way I see it is like you always keep remembering that you lost something,
mm-hmm.
right? Okay. Let's put it like this: different forms. Let's say you lose a job, right?
Mm-hmm.
You might have gotten somewhere now where you have a new job, but you always remember that at some point you lost your job. The feel of the job and what it was, you know, the memory of it, the experience, everything about that place.
Strangely, I actually went to my previous workplace yesterday.
Oh.
As you're just saying, the feeling of the place, I was like,
yeah. So it's like you're in a new place, and maybe anything that might just be different or somewhat similar will always make you remember where you're coming from, what you lost. So it's the same way if you have like a relationship. It might be your first relationship when you were in your so-called puppy love phase, and then you lose that love or you lose that relationship. There will be things that will remind you of that relationship, of the pain of that relationship, of the loss, of how maybe innocent it was at the time. Yeah, how free it was. You were less aware of all these social media stereotypes and all these things. And at that time, it was just what it was. You know, it was pure. It was crazy. It was senseless. It was whatever. But it was what it was.
It was everything.
It was everything at that time. And then you remember it, and it's like, I had this, and then you lost it, and then it will keep coming back to you.
You always remember.
So if you even when you lose someone, what I've seen is, because there are times where I might be doing something, and I instinctively just remember my uncle. I remember some things he would do, some things he would say. I remember people that I've lost, friends and stuff like that. I remember mannerisms that they had, or things that were like common to us, and then it will feel like pain all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always gonna be that brief moment of like, I miss this person. I wish I could just call and be like, hey, crazy guy, this that.
I remember going back and I wanted to do some mischief for my family. I remember the last time I did something like that, it was with my dad.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh.
And now he's not there for me to just be mischievous again. Oh God, it's not worked. It's not worked so well.
Okay, I was gonna say something, but I don't know if you listen to the podcast in the afterlife. But just allow it to be. Yeah, I was gonna say something.
Want the spirit to come back and do mischief with me? Won't you run?
No, not me. I'm not going to be here. I'll allow you guys to do your just my own.
Oh my God! And one final one. It says, moving on from the loss is like forgetting the loss.
Mm-hmm.
Wrong, actually. That you're moving on does not mean you're forgetting.
Okay.
Moving on means you're accepting.
Okay, so now this I feel is bringing us to the stages of grief.
Yes, it is.
So I think we should just get to the stages of grief, because at this point, talking about accepting is we already at the, I would like call it tail end.
Yeah, it's like we're going to the very end. Yeah.
So we'll probably just go over those things now.
Okay. So people, there's this argument as well. There are 5 stages, there are 7 stages of grief.
I saw one Indian guy that was like, there are 6 stages.
Oh wow! So he just went for the middle.
Yeah, he went for the middle, and I felt like he did a smart thing, found the and
a balance,
middle ground, and just yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm going to take the 7 stages because I feel like it doesn't just end with hope. It actually shows some positivity, some actual movement in
Yeah.
a different direction. So we're going to start with the first one, and that one says shock and denial.
Absolutely.
First one. Okay,
Especially
so.
when it relates to death.
Mhm.
It's like, I can't believe this has happened. I can't believe this person died. I can't believe this. You
I
know.
think I'm the.
And then denial is like, no, this can't be. You know, maybe there's something I can do. Maybe there's, you want to try to, you know,
So let
it's,
me actually give an example of the denial. I've not really told many people about this part, but I think only those who were around me at the time knew that I did this. When I was called and told that my dad had passed,
may so rest in peace.
I was baking, at the
Oh,
time. I was actually going through baking lessons, and I had got the phone call.
told you she was a chef.
This guy.
Okay, master baker, chef. Okay, we're
Calm
getting there.
down.
You
All
expose
right.
yourself. Don't worry. This is Philly Speaks podcast. You already hear first.
So,
All right.
so while I was baking, and then I just paused. I was like, "You guys are joking, right?" They were like, "No, that he just passed." I remember that this time was about 11 o'clock in the morning. And I told them, I said, "Don't touch that guy." I literally they wanted to move him to the morgue. I said, "Don't." I'm the firstborn, so I was like, "Don't touch my dad. He's not dead."
Mm.
Yeah, it was around 10. I remember because they gave me 2 hours. I told them, "Don't touch him." So I kept the phone and I continued baking. And my instructor was looking at me like, "You should be crying or something." And I was like, "No, my dad is not dead. He can't be dead."
Mm. Mm.
And I was like, "You guys should not touch that man." And my uncle called. He was like, "Please, I need permission to go ahead and, put this guy." And I was like, "Uncle, don't touch him." you know. And everyone was like, they were actually worried for me because I was too calm about it. I was like, my father cannot just pass like that. He's not going anywhere. Where is he
Yeah.
going to?
Yeah.
I finished. I went in, sat down. My sisters were calling. They were crying. I was like, people should stop this rubbish. This man has not gone anywhere. I was
Yeah.
in serious shock and denial. Like, for me, it was like, no, he can't be dead.
Yeah.
And it happened. It was, I think, past 12 that they were like, "Okay, we've waited. We have to, move him."
The thing is, up until when my dad passed, if I could say anyone was unkillable, it's him. That man is
Exactly.
like, I don't know, he can go through anything and just come out. Like, he's like Superman, but just
Yeah.
without the abs. No, but he had this embodiment of, like, he's like a mountain. He's standing and he's just like, he's not like the tallest man, but he has this huge presence, right?
Yeah.
So he's around, and everyone knows he's around. He has this energy about him, right? And it didn't feel right.
Exactly.
I feel like if this guy has to go, maybe the sun will just turn
Did you
blue,
get
the
something
sky
has
will just
happened?
divide, something will just happen. Like, still, I'll know that, okay, everyone has carried him. Or, yeah, let's understand. It was too calm. Like, the day was not just doing
It
it
was
for
not
me, and
setting well,
it was not setting my, like, what's
mm-mm.
going on? No, 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 no. It's supposed to be like three lions in the horizon shouting. No, it's not a funny thing. May so rest in peace. God bless him. Yeah.
Yeah. So the whole idea of this stage of grief is
Mm-hmm.
it's normal to feel it. If you
Yeah.
actually, for some people, it will just be shock. They may not deny that the person is dead, but for them, it's like, whoa, did he just die?
Yeah, that's.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever it is that happens to you, just know that it is perfectly normal. I know, yes, at that time you're not even sure whether you're thinking about anything is normal or it's not normal. But if you're beside someone who's going through that, and you see the person in that state, please don't start telling the person to snap out of it. If I catch you, oh God.
Well, wait.
Why would you tell
Why are
the
you
person to
catching
snap
people?
out of
Why are you
it?
catching them?
Allow the person.
Yeah.
It's perfectly normal,
Yeah.
to actually go through that. All right.
Yeah, denial, like I said, it's going to be a different experience for everyone. There's no one size fits all. Okay, this is denial. Everyone should be like this in denial. Everyone should be like this. Another thing you have to also understand is, I don't feel like the stages, we go through them sequentially all the time. I feel
True.
like you can go back and forth, you can jump between
Because
stages,
yes,
and you can even relapse. I feel you should be. I mean, it looks like people can relapse and go back to denial.
straight, yeah.
You
Instead
know,
of killing, they just
yeah,
go back.
go back to denial, and they're like, no,
So
this is
it could
still not. I
happen
know, I still don't
differently.
believe this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's
Oh well. All right. So let's move on to the second stage, and
yeah.
that's one is there you have pain, you have guilt, you have anger.
Mhm.
Now this is the part where people start to shout like, "How could you do this to me? How could he leave me?" You start to maybe deal with abandonment.
Mhm.
Say a relationship breakup,
Mm.
and let's say you were not the one who, you know, uh, brought about the breakup. So the other person initiated it. You
Mm.
start to feel like, how could he do this to me? You're going from
Mm.
feeling like, okay, did it just end? Did the relationship just end?
Mhm. Mhm.
Or then you're now feeling like, why? You know, you start to feel this aching pain. um, you know, guilt, like maybe it was your fault.
Mhm.
You start
Mhm.
to feel like,
This is the part where I feel people start saying, if I had done this,
yes.
if I had done this, oh, well, maybe if I was there, maybe if I didn't do this, maybe that thing I said, this thing I did, and you start feeling like you could take these things back and then
Mm-hmm.
something would change. Nah.
Yes, the truth is, there's nothing you could have done differently. Like, it has happened.
I
Maybe
feel
there could
like.
have been things you
Mhm.
could have done differently, but the truth is, it has happened.
Mhm.
It's not going to. The fact that you're beating yourself up about it is not going to change the fact that it has happened.
I know you think you said something that, say, for example, you didn't like, for example, in the case of a relationship, you didn't call off the relationship,
Mhm.
but the relationship has ended, and there's this. Oh, this is another podcast, but okay. There's this idea
Yeah.
that the person who initiates the breakup
Mhm.
doesn't feel the pain. It is a lie.
A very big lie.
That lie is
A
just,
very big lie.
see,
Oh God.
I'll tell you for a fact. Yeah, you can initiate a breakup when you are the most in love with someone,
Mhm.
and you have to break up because it's going to kill you to stay there.
And you
So
just
at
feel
some
like
point you're like,
dying.
yeah, I don't want to die, so I'm gonna have to let you go, but not because I want to. It's
Mhm.
like this song Usher, the Born song, when it's at the beginning
You
of
want
the
to
song
sing
with
for us?
no, hell no. So, but like, yeah. So it's what it is,
Mhm.
it sucks.
Yes, it does. It actually does. Okay, well, that part is perfectly fine. It's that second stage of grief. If you find yourself there, just know you're making progress. Please don't relapse. I beg you. Because some people get to this point and so quickly fall back.
To denial.
Yes, they go back to that place.
It's, like I
Instead,
said, it's very possible that you relapse. It's very possible that you bounce between stages and not
mm-hmm.
in a very balanced way.
Yeah, and then the next stop is bargaining.
Mhm.
What if?
What if?
What if I do this? Would I get it back? What
Yeah.
if I do that? Would I?
And then sometimes we bargain with God.
Even with God.
You're like, God.
I bargained with God
You're like,
over
God,
my
if I
father.
if I do this, can you bring him back?
Exactly.
Like real quick?
I literally was like, God,
Yeah.
you had the power to raise the dead.
No, seriously,
you know,
no, see, I literally call God
I
out
got
on that. Like
there.
God, it's like you say stuff like, nothing. There's nothing you cannot do. What God cannot
I'm
do does not
telling
exist.
you.
And then you're like,
Oh,
God, I know you can do everything, so do this for me, please. Whatever you want, I'll do it.
as in.
And then we make it's very. This is a very. I won't say like, see, this is one of the reasons why I love God so much because He is so lenient. Yeah.
Mhm.
Because if it's like some people are God, you just like God, oh yeah, do this thing, this that. If you're not, if your name is God, oh yeah, do this one. Kind of thing. Just use lighting to arrange you first. Like, what's wrong with you? Do you know that I am God? What's wrong with you? So it's a difficult point, and people get into bargaining, and all of that. And yeah, because it's funny that especially in the holy books, at different points in time, people have bargained with God like this and actually gotten, dead people to
Some
get
results,
up again
yeah.
and stuff. So there have been results. So everyone is like, okay, it could be my
Let me
turn.
try.
Let me try. And we try. wow, if you've ever, I mean, there was this particular time I saw this woman praying for someone that was lost, and her prayer was so intense. If I was God, I'll be moved. This guy come back, man. I don't know.
Like,
Just come back. Let her have peace. Because this woman, the way she prayed, man. If I pray like that for like money,
there's no
I'll
way,
be
there's
so
no
rich.
chance that
I'll
you will
be
not be
so
answered.
rich. That prayer will just enter. Like, man, it was so intentional and so like the love was pouring out and everything, man. So but what I would say is like especially when it's like a relationship or something like or a marriage or a business, whatever it is, I would start asking what if, you know, what can I give for this to come back?
Yeah.
I feel like personal advice, I would say be careful what you go bargaining with.
Hmm.
Be careful what you are willing to give up to get this old thing back. Be very careful because we don't see, because at that point we are frantically acting because we don't want to lose,
Mhm.
because we don't want to see this thing gone forever. So now we are clutching at the hems, at the straws, whatever, everything that we can hold on to, every thread we are holding on to, and we are saying, I will give you all of me for a piece of you.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Deadly one.
that's a deadly place to be. Unfortunately, I don't know if you've been there, but I think so. You get somewhere where you're asking someone, I will give you everything I have. Just give me this bit of you. Yeah?
Mhm.
And that is the most dangerous place you can be, you know?
Yeah. Let me even bring
And
this
I feel like
in.
sorry, and I feel like especially when I say like I can relate to this is because like you get to a point where like whether it's to God or whatever, and you're like, I will do anything. This is
Mhm.
this is the part where people sell their soul. This is the part where people make deals with the devil
Yeah.
because they want one thing. And I tell you, I can give you a potion, I'll make this person come back to you, and then you are like, okay, I'm gonna take it.
So yeah, as regards making crazy deals, in this particular kind of state, I wanted to bring it, close to home. Say you lost a job
Mhm.
or you just retired
Mhm.
and you're starting to feel that grief over, losing
Mhm.
the activeness and all that,
Mhm.
and you want to give anything to get back that feeling.
Mhm.
Say you lost the job and you want to get it back, you start to make crazy deals. You know, it's more. It's like at that stage, anyone can take advantage of you.
Yeah, I feel like the thing you're even trying to say is be careful of your own desperation
Mhm.
because desperation makes you vulnerable.
Exactly. That's the
And you are
word.
vulnerable to a lot of manipulation when you're desperate. So you need to be careful with your desperation.
That's why you see people going to some, spiritualists,
Mhm.
for different things,
They tell
and
you that they give you something that will make you
do you
fly at
get tell you
night.
to go and run through some river, do some
Yeah.
things. Come on, they can smell the desperation reeking of you at that time, and they just do whatever, play with it. So please don't leave yourself open to such kind of sharks. I
No,
don't
I do man. I
mind
do mind. It's the devil workshop. I feel like
the desperate one.
the desperate one is like it's not even the workshop. You are like the manufacturing hub. You are like God. Oh Lord, desperation is not your friend.
Yes, it's not. Okay, next up on the stage is depression. Now, this stage, I need people to be aware of this stage because
Mhm.
you see a person who has gotten through grief, that's going through the motions of grief,
Mhm.
starting from being pretty maybe shocked, to all of a sudden very angry, and then maybe the person gets to that bargaining point. You feel like they're getting better
Yeah.
because maybe at that time they're more vocal. Then all of a
Mhm.
sudden they get into the depression state and they start to become quiet, and you're like, is the person regressing?
Yeah. But they're not.
But they're actually not. you know the depression state is actually very, very well, tricky. I'll use that word
Okay.
because
Why?
in that state you start to, if a lot of people get lost in that place. It's a very big spiral
Mm-hmm.
where you are saying, I may never have another relationship. I may never have,
Oh my God.
you know, I'm doomed to fail. I lost this job. I will not get another one as good as this.
That is the
You know,
worst. That's the
I lose a
worst
child.
place.
What if I never get another child? You
Mm.
know, a relationship. One of my, you lose a loved one and you're like, wow, I'll never recover from this.
Yeah, or possibly that this is how you keep losing people.
Do you know, so
Yeah.
your mind keeps creating crazy
So basically your
scenarios.
mind dooms you to the
Yeah,
point where, man, this is not even
it's
good.
not cool. So it's a very tricky place to be. Now,
Mm-hmm.
different people cope in this stage differently. For some people, yes, some people do, like, it's just almost like the typical depression. For some people, they become pretty extroverted. They really want to just make noise and do everything. For some other people, that's when they want to be alone.
Mm.
They come together and they're like, okay, to deal with this loss, every other person, please just stay away. But the issue is that the people around them are like, but the timing is off. You should have done this at the beginning part.
Sometimes the thing is, this depression thing is, it has like we said again, everyone's way of dealing with this will be different.
Mm.
Um, I feel like for some people we get very busy.
True, that's another set of
So for
people.
example, I know that um, I know someone who when he went through his breakup, he put himself in his work.
Mm-hmm.
For the next few months, he was just work.
Work.
So like he was the kind of guy that would work till work is done, he'll still be there.
Mm.
You close by 5, but he's there till like 8:30, 9 o'clock sometimes. Like
Wow.
if there's anything that would like they would like any additional work
Mm-hmm.
that would have maybe people would have said, okay, let's do this tomorrow. Let's just leave it out. We'll do it tomorrow. He'll be
Yeah.
like, nah, I'm staying there. I'll do it. You know.
Hmm.
And unfortunately, I was me also for some time because I know what that was like.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't good.
Yeah.
But it helped to be busy. The moment you stop moving, I feel like, come on, it's hard. You know, that's a different thing altogether. But yeah.
So yeah, just know that that stage is just as, is pretty difficult, but it's just as normal. But if you can't get through it by yourself, because like I said, at that point it becomes pretty overwhelming because in that depressed state, like you said, when the person is overwhelmed with work, when they get back, there's still going to be that quiet space where
Mm,
everything hits you so hard. If you
mm.
can't deal with it, please get a therapist or get someone who can help you walk through it.
Or if you can find someone, find a space to express yourself.
Yes, if
I
you.
feel like that is my own personal advice to anyone. If that's you, find a space to express yourself. It might be church, it might be your mosque, it might be where else do you find expression. It might be your art. It might be that you get to creating something. Sometimes it might be dance.
Mhm.
It might just be that person where 2 a.m. you're out, you're just in your room and you're dancing to some EDM or whatever, and you're trap or whatever.
Yeah, my people used to think I was a witch.
Yeah, you probably did some winky stuff. So, but
No, I was dancing.
yeah, you had like a pentagram on the ground. You're dancing, of course. You're not a witch, yes. So, definitely, I would say that it helps to dance. Exercise is a great way as well.
Yes,
I would
it
tell
is.
most guys if you can hit the gym, hit the gym, but don't expect to solve all your problems. So still talk to someone. It helps because life continues when you put the weights down. So you need to have some kind of balance between all of these things.
Mhm. All right. So that's that part. All right. Please, again, try not to get stuck in this stage. It's very, very tricky.
I feel like another thing is just try not to worry too much about the stages.
Mm.
Like when you're in a stage, just I'm in this stage. If you notice that
Mhm.
you're there. But don't try and force. I have to get to the acceptance stage. I have to get to the
Want to get
depression
out?
stage. No, just you are in the
Allow
stage.
yourself go through the process.
Once you realize that you're in that stage, that's awareness. That's because I feel like that's one of the things that I like to advocate on the Fiji Speaks, which is that you have better self-awareness. Know where you are at every point in time.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not good,
Helps.
know you're not good. Like I'm
Yeah.
not good right now. Understand that you are human and it's okay.
Mm.
You're not a cyborg. You're not a robot. Accept your humanity and be aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sad. I don't feel so good right now. I feel down. I need to talk to somebody. Know where you are at. Don't just be living life and like life is just going past you and then you don't even know what you look like. You've not shaved in 50 days. It's not the best.
No, it's not. All right. Next up is the upward turn. Now this part is usually not sweet, but
Not so.
it's not sour either. Yeah.
Okay.
So you start to feel like, yeah, the end was bad, but it's something for me in the future.
Okay.
So at this point, you start to you're coming out of that place of I lost something to this possibility of something else out there. All right.
Mm.
And well, this one doesn't usually take so long. I think it's easily just slides into the next stage, which is the reconstruction and walking through. Now, this part is where you start to evaluate a lot of things about your life, evaluate, what you've been through, the mistakes you've made, depending on what scenario you just went through,
Yeah.
Even if it's the loss of a pet, like my dog Courage. Now, when we lost her, we now knew that next time when Calabar people move into your area, buy chain for your dog. Don't allow your dog to move out.
Don't do that.
Don't let your dog roam free.
But seriously,
Buy
Calabar people,
chain.
why are you guys? Why are you doing this? It's not right. I
So
don't
now,
know.
my new dog Damien, when we want to
And
go out
the thing
swimming.
is, it's actually not just Calabar people. In China as well, they have.
Please, let's not go to Chinese people. Those ones are different. I
Okay,
don't know,
so
in a different planet on their
yeah,
own.
but yeah, people eat dogs. Uh,
Those ones eat anything, actually. They can eat you too, and you won't know.
that's the problem. Why would you want it? I mean, why? I know you want to eat me, but like, why? Still, God,
Oh my
I'm
god.
better alive. Don't eat me. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think they remember that, but okay.
Oh Jesus.
Alright. So yes, this part, yeah, you
Mm.
so this part you actually get to, plan yourself better. Think about, future and all the other stuffs that can actually get, better in your life, okay? Even if you lost a dream, you can use the spirit to think about, okay, that is gone. What can I do? Is there still a possibility of doing?
Sometimes we lose things.
Mhm.
I'm not talking about people now. We lose things, but um, like for example, now you loss of a relationship
Mhm.
or a job,
Mhm.
yeah, and you could decide to say, oh, I lost a job. I'm never gonna get a job like this. Blah 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 blah.
Mhm.
And then you get to a point where, oh well, I lost the job. Maybe then you maybe take up accountability. Like, okay, you know what? I probably wasn't the best at that job. Anyways,
Yeah.
yeah, probably wasn't the most punctual. I probably didn't give my best 100% all the time. Probably could have done more. I could have
Yes.
been more. And then you take that on, and this is where accountability is important because now you're aware that relationship ended. You know, God forbid the marriage ended. We're talking just before
Mhm.
now about how we had this month alone, this January is not even done yet,
Mhm.
and we've seen over 4,000
4,000 cases of divorce
cases of divorce in
in Abuja.
Abuja alone, right? That's a lot of divorce. If you're not, I mean, there's a lot of divorce to be honest. And there are a lot of factors that go into it. People are, trying to get through the holidays with their family before they drop the bomb because they don't want to bring it to family stuff and say, okay, I'm divorcing you right there during Christmas. So everyone is waiting for after that to get down. And maybe some people it's New Year resolution. I want to start in New Year, new me, new partner. All right, let's go. I don't know.
Oh
So
God.
so it's possible. But I think the thing here is if you're at the point where something that you've had is lost
Mhm.
or you've had to go through the process, the stages of grief with this thing, it might be a relationship, you have to come to terms with the fact that yeah, you weren't perfect. Yeah, you didn't have everything right, but now you have opportunity to start again.
Yeah.
Yeah, opportunity to start again. Sometimes starting again might mean you going back to fix what you have, what you've so-called lost. You might try again to get that thing. If it's worth it to you, you have to really evaluate it.
Yes.
If you have a family with kids and all of that stuff, and you're having a fight and you guys are like divorcing over some petty stuff, come on, let's really think about it. What's really important to you? If you can actually work things
Is that
out.
person more important to you than being right?
Yeah, yeah. So if you think about that and you're like, you know what, I want to be right, or I am right, or whatever, and then, but I see that being right is causing us all to be wrong together. So maybe you can find a way to communicate these things. Obviously, these cases are going to vary. Um,
Yeah,
but you need
let's
to
just.
evaluate what's important to you.
Yeah.
And if your family is important to you in case of a divorce and all of that, then sit through that stuff. Sit through therapy and counseling, pray and everything you need to do to see how you can get these things to work. If it's a relationship that's ended, thank God it's not your marriage that ended, right? Thank God it's not you're not separating kids now, right? Thank God you're not separating families. Maybe you may be at some point separating families because relationships can be quite intense and your family knows their family and everyone knows everyone. But if it's a relationship that ended or is ending, then it's an opportunity for you to wake up and see, hey, I need to do better at this. I need to do better at that. I need to
Yeah.
hold myself to better standards for this and this and this, and I need to forgive myself more. And then all those things. And then if you cheated, don't cheat next time, right? I know people
Yeah.
say, oh, every cheater is always a cheater. No, you have a right. You have the opportunity. You have the potential. You have the capacity to change your
To
story.
be better, yeah.
To change your story. You messed up before, don't mess up again.
Simple.
You were domestically abusive, don't do that anymore. Change, walk away from that life. It's your choice. Really, we just keep choosing the wrong thing. Like the Solomon episode. If you don't listen to that, listen to that. But like, seriously, we choose. So you decide what you want and good.
And the final part is acceptance and hope. And in this stage, you're talking about, finally accepting yourself,
Mhm.
depending on your scenario, and saying, I have something to offer.
Yeah.
You're going beyond just, okay, what can I do better, to now there is
There's
something
something I have
more.
to offer.
Yes.
And I've oh my god, this is beautiful. Because the moment you go from, oh, this is what I did, this is the past,
Mm-hmm.
and then looking forward to the future, you say, not only did I learn that I made mistakes, I also learned that I'm not a write off. I'm not
Yes.
My story is not done because
Exactly.
this I lost this job, because I lost this relationship,
Mm-hmm.
because I lost this person, for whatever reason. It's not over yet.
Mm-hmm.
There are other things for me to love. There are other things for me to cherish. There are other things for me to protect. There are other things for me to provide for. There are other things for me to be strong about. There are other things for me to give myself to. And then you now decide and say, no, I'm not going to allow the fact that this has happened to stop me from believing that there is something for me still.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do my best. If it's a relationship that ended, yes, that ended. But look, I have so much love to give. I'm an amazing person. I'm working to be the best version of myself, and someone deserves to meet this person.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do my best to not be the same person I was before, or to be the better version of myself for myself, so that they can enjoy that as well. So take your time, heal, do what you need to do, and listen to the Fizzy speaks. I think that's about it.
Yeah, that's about it. So make sure that whatever it is, whatever scenario you're going through, whatever kind of loss it is that you're dealing with, just know that it is an inevitable part of life and that there are different ways to cope with it.
Mhm.
And be sure that your process is unique to you, okay? If
Mhm.
you need help, seek out support from people who can actually help you, all right?
Yeah.
And support yourself. Take care of yourself emotionally and physically, please, if you
Yeah.
can. I know at that time you're not thinking about what you look like, but please still take care of yourself. Eat food. Some people don't eat when they're going through grief. I know,
Eat
yes,
oh.
you are not thinking about food, but
Eat.
please
Eat very well.
eat,
Eat and be
okay?
strong.
And make sure
Crying needs strength. Can't cry without
I'll
shame.
make sure that while you're finding this guy, I'll make sure that while you're finding the strength, to get through the process, allowing yourself to break down, don't stay there, okay? Don't stay there. Make sure that your final goal is to come out a better person, a stronger one, all right? I know that one way or the other, someone who's listening to this, you were attracted to this because at some point, either you've been through the process or you're going through it right now. Whatever it is, just make sure, that you're not alone in this. Find someone out there who's been there. I think I was comforted when I lost my father by the way some people who had lost their dads spoke. All of them had this catchphrase where when I told them I just lost my dad, they tell me, "Welcome to the club," and I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah. My cousin, Mark. If you listen to this, you're crazy for that. Mark was like he said, "Welcome to the club of the fatherless," and
I
I was
was
like,
like, really?
wow.
You know?
There's a club. Do we get like a group chat?
But it
Do we
made
get
me
like a group chat or something?
this guy.
That's
But it made
dumb
me
stuff.
realize that I wasn't alone.
That's the crazy thing is I used to tell someone this thing and I'll say you're not alone
Yeah.
and she'll go, what do you mean? I'm the one feeling it. I'm like, you're not
You're
alone.
not alone.
And I feel like it's the fact that I know that I'm not alone. It makes me also remove the idea that God is just trying to get me.
Mhm.
Do you get what I mean? The
Yeah.
moment you remove that thinking of, oh, it's only happening to me, then you realize God is still fair to you. God still
Mhm.
loves you. God still got you. You're good. It's life. It's not God dealing with you. It's not God punishing you for being a human being who, for God's sakes, whatever, whatever. You know? Yeah. People just take stuff out and we take our own negativity and we just bathe with it over and over again. The same water, the same bath water. I just, negativity shower every day.
Please don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do
It's
that.
just unnecessarily disgusting.
Yeah.
Change your water.
Please.
Yeah. It has been quite an episode. Thank you so much, Juliet Godwin, Jules my Jules, OAP extraordinary, yeah,
Ordinary. That's what you
extraordinaire.
were trying to
Yes,
say.
I was trying to say it's still
Mhm.
come out.
It has come
Tired.
out now.
I'm tired. Yeah. So yeah, Jules, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast episode once again. Taking out time from your busy schedule, I really appreciate it. I do. I do. So yeah, for everyone else listening to the episode that is not me or Jules but Jules, have an amazing one. Thank you so much for listening. You can catch her at Into the Real You on all social media platforms whatsoever. She's everywhere. She's like, I don't know, she's everywhere. Alright. So for me, I am Salim Mohammed Tarifa the Fizi. Signing out. Catch you in the next one. Peace.